impact on how they feel, because faith, hope, love, and laughter are so important in our lives. And faith is a belief, but it's based on something that we've learned. And that's why I wanted you to have this experience. And I thank you so much for joining with me. Because when we have an experience, then we change what we know into wisdom. Experience changes knowledge into wisdom. So now you have a wisdom, a different level of wisdom that you can share with your patient. And we talk a lot about ancient teachings, and there was a teacher, thousands of years ago in Ayurveda, and he said, important that the patient believe that the treatment will work, but more important that the doctor believe. And it's really important that we know in our heart, this is the right thing that I'm doing for this patient. It's so important. And they have hope when they walk in. They have to have some kind of hope to make that phone call and come and see you. And then we can take that hope and through teaching them about our techniques and about what we have to offer, we can help them bring about healing. So I love it when someone uses their celebrity to help with health and healing and bring about awareness on the planet. And Kate Middleton is one of those people. And she, I want to read a quote from her. So right before she had her third baby, how many of you know the baby's name? It was a big deal, Lewis, right? And right before she had her third baby, she went and did some talks at hospital. And I just want to read what she said. Nothing can really prepare you for the sheer overwhelming experience of what it means to become a mother. It is full of complex emotions of joy, exhaustion, love, and worry all mixed together. Your fundamental identity changes overnight. You go from thinking of yourself primarily as an individual to suddenly being a mother, first and foremost. It is lonely at times, and you do feel quite isolated. But actually, so many other mothers are going through what you're going through. But it is being brave enough to actually reach out. And it's wonderful because she's helping to remove the stigma around mental illness. And also, women, they feel like they have to live in this facade, like they're this perfect mother, right? And you've got the backpack with all this right snacks and the right drinks and the right this and all the blankets and all this stuff. And instead, some women suffer quite painfully in their postmenopause. Now, baby blues is something that's very common. And it's really right after they give birth, and they have very strong emotions, but their progesterone levels have dropped dramatically after the placenta is delivered. So progesterone, that can happen if you have no progesterone, crying, feeling sad and overwhelmed. Even just realizing that you have this little person now that you're going to take care of for quite a long time. Or sadly, when they do lose the baby and they don't have them, go home with empty arms. And so when baby blues continues beyond a few days, a week, now it's starting to become a chronic problem. And if we can address it more quickly, like that Oxford study said, preventable cause of death for women with suicide, right? So if early on they could see, I'm starting to they have feelings of not being connected to the baby. And have any of you read Brooke Shields' book, Down Came the Rain? And it was about postpartum depression. And Brooke Shields, she talked about these horrible, violent ideas that she would get in her mind, these violent thoughts. And a lot of women that I see come in, they tell me, I have these horrible visions of the baby, being injured or dying or being thrown off a cliff, or that I would do something or crash the car. They have a lot of very violent, scary, can't have scissors and knives around them. They're just, it's horrifying. And I recently had a patient, and I said to her, I said, what if those aren't your thoughts? And I want you to know that she healed herself right that second that I said that. I said, what if you're just like an antenna and you're just picking up thoughts and you're so sensitive because you just had a baby? And I said, those aren't even your thoughts. And all of a sudden she could just release them. She started driving again and she's much more functional. We've done other work too with her diet. So I can tell you that was like a moment where things turned. So some women will get postpartum depression or anxiety or OCD later. And it'll be because something changes in their life, something traumatic, or they become ill, or they have their menstruation comes back and that can be difficult for them, before they stop breastfeeding, that can be difficult for them. So there's different times that we should watch for that, not assuming it's only going to happen right after they give birth. And only 2% of women go on to develop postpartum psychosis. But look at this picture. Who would imagine that this beautiful young family, that this woman, a few weeks after this picture was taken, would shoot her 3-month-old daughter, her husband, her dog, and herself. So she was serious. And nobody knew that she had any problems. She couldn't reach out. Look at how beautiful and perfect she looked. And so I feel that it's so important that we understand why does postpartum mood disorder. I like to call them perinatal because some women, it's when they're pregnant, the mood disorders start earlier in the pregnancy. And so, of course, hormonal, nutritional,